I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about the sign Virgo. And for those of you that have Virgo as your ascendant, Virgo is an earth sign and it's mutable. So it is extremely adaptable and practical all at the same time. So they can be realist. They can really help you understand the world and how it all fits in together. It's a very cognitive sign that deals with the thinking process, but in a practical, useful way. They can be extremely witty. They know how to work with things and the mind. Mercury becomes very strong and powerful with this ascendant because Mercury rules the first as well as the 10th house. So career is very, very important to Virgo ascendants. They consider their career and their work as who they are. And this is a big representation that they associate. They cannot isolate or separate who they are as to what they do with their work or their career. Virgo is a very health-centered sign. It really cares about how they eat and how they look and how they take care of themselves. And they're usually, for the most part, pretty disciplined. And of course, the old adage about cleanliness is extraordinarily important to Virgo. They like order. So with that, Venus is their best planet by and large, and Virgos can have some extremes with luck and fortune because Venus rules the second house of money as well as the ninth house of luck and fortune. So they're extremely prosperous, and they may find that money can come to them through their father by the fact that Venus rules the ninth house as well as the second house. They may have a very charming father. Venus is charm and beauty, or a father that is very creative. So watch how Venus operates. It's an amazing planet that can bring them wealth and fortune. Even luck, like a lottery win or something to do with money that comes unexpectedly. Venus will be the planet that brings them wealth and money. So looking at that, Mars rules the third house as well as the eighth house. This is very detrimental. Mars is a first-rate, nasty, malefic planet for Virgo ascendants. And by the fact that Mars rules the third house and the eighth, there can be great losses or problems around siblings. That sometimes it can be accidents or just emotional problems and even death sometimes for a brother or sister because of the fact that the eighth house deals with death and the third house deals with brothers and sisters. And consequently, and usually it's nothing that severe, but it will represent that there are problems between brothers and sisters. So watch for that. So looking at Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that rules angles. It rules the fourth house as well as the seventh house. And these angles are not the ascendant. When a planet rules angles aside from the first house, and it's a benefic, it loses its power to do good for the chart, loses its power. So Jupiter is weaker for Virgo ascendant. Interestingly enough, the other Mercury-ruled ascendant, Gemini, has weak Jupiter by the fact that it rules the angles and not the ascendant. So Jupiter is weak here. But Saturn is stronger because Saturn rules a triconal house, and it rules the most difficult Dastana house. It rules 5 and 6th house. So it rules the 5th and the 6th house together. And because it rules a triconal, it will bring good and prosperity, but it can delay children. Because remember, Saturn is delays. And by the fact that it rules the 5th house, this can cause delays here. And the 6th house, there could be some problems with children because the 6th house is It can improve over time, but still it can cause enemies, conflicts, or issues. So Saturn can can bring some problems, possibly through children. And another thing is, with Saturn's rulership of the 6th house and the 5th house, Virgos, this is why Virgos are so into health and healing. And it's important for them to really look at how they eat, how they take care of themselves, and exercise. A focus about food is very important to Virgo. And probably an issue that can come up in their life is how they digest their food, because Saturn rules the 6th house, and Virgo does rule the intestinal tract in terms of digestion. So the Sun rules the 12th house, and this can cause some problems because the Sun is our vitality and our life force, and when it rules the 12th house, this can cause some problems for not having a strong life force, not having a strong constitution, and therefore that's why they're forced to look into matters in areas concerning health, diet, and nutrition. The Moon rules the 11th house. The 11th house deals with groups, friends, organizations, and our ultimate desires. So they're very changeable. They can be very changeable at times, the Virgo ascendants. But they do have many acquaintances, lots of friends, groups that surround them. But they really don't let a lot of people in, because when the Moon rules the 11th, there's many people, acquaintances, but not a lot of very close, heartfelt friends, because it's always kind of on the surface. The Moon represents fluctuations. So ruler of the 11th, things are constantly changing on the front, dealing with their friends and the people that they hang out with and associate with. Many times with the Moon ruling the 11th, they can know some well-off people, but they're still not, they're on the peripheral vision. It's not part of the heart and core of their life, these people. So they're very popular, but it's on a surface level. And many times Virgos, when there's nothing to worry about, they'll find something to worry about, because they're constantly thinking, the mind is prodding, and there's a seriousness to this ascendant. So looking at this with Virgo as the ascendant, the Sun, as I said, as ruler of the 12th, can weaken the vitality. The Moon represents the flightiness, so the Sun and the Moon rule these houses. So if I might choose which planets are the best for Virgo as an ascendant, I'd have to say Mercury, by the fact that it rules the ascendant, as well as Saturn does rule the 5th, but it does rule the 6th, but it's still ownership of a triconal house. And this makes Virgo very focused, Saturn's ruler of the 5th house. It makes their mind focus, and they're very highly intelligent, those with a Virgo ascendant. So Venus is my all-time favorite, probably the best for Virgo ascendant, because it's rulership of the 9th, but the 2nd house, it can bring prosperity and money. And Virgos generally can do very well on a financial level, because they're intelligent, they're deep thinkers, they're strong, and they will create wealth in their lives. So the best planets are Venus first, then Mercury, then Saturn. But remember, Mars will cause major issues and problems, because not only does it rule the worst Dastana, the 8th house, it also rules a difficult house as the 3rd house. So this is a major planet that will bring problems throughout their life. So Virgos are incredibly smart, practical, realistic. They're realist, and they're great deep thinkers. So with that, I'd like to close. And if you would like to learn more about astrology, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you're really serious about learning Vedic astrology, I have a university, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.